founder, CEO of Charter Champions, and I'm here today at Uprep, one of the phenomenal charter schools in the city of Rochester. And I got four rather strong scholars with me. I got some athletes. We got a nice mixture. We're just going to chop it up. We're going to talk about Uprep today and some charter schools in general, and just want to hear your thoughts, your perspective, and learn about you guys as young men and who you are and who do you want to be. So if you could, I would love for you to tell me your name, your age, what grade you're in, and why you're here. Why are you at UPrep? So your name, your age, um, why you're here at UPrep, what grade you're in.
My name is Kelmer Emerson. I'm 17 years old. I'm in 12th grade. And why am I UPrep? Kind of was forced, but
Who forced you to come here?
my mom. But I adapted the environment.
Was it a good decision or a bad decision?
Overall, it was a good decision.
Okay, so you're not mad anymore. You're still talking to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still love her.
You still love her. Okay. So I'm assuming that it has worked out for the better. But why did she force you to come here?
She felt like it was best for me to be around men, especially someone to make me become a man, because father wasn't in my life. So
I understand that. Mine neither. And I didn't have a UPrep around that was able to help mold and shape me. So I went through a lot of things and made a lot of decisions because I didn't have anybody to learn from except the wrong things. So it's beautiful to see when you walk into UPrep and there's a lot of men of color that are trying to pour into you and trying to make sure that you guys get what you need. And so I believe it's very purposeful too. I know they've done that by design to try to make sure that you have people that you connect with here. And so, sir, what's your name, grade, age, and why the heck are you here?
My name is Chad Jones. I am 17 years old. I'm a senior here at UPrep. Why am I here? So originally my dad was looking for schools around the city, but then he was like, this school isn't walking distance. I used to live right down the street.
Okay.
And he's like, let him go there, And so he just sent me here, and because most of my 7th grade, 8th grade year was in COVID, so I wasn't around anybody, and he knew that, an all-boys school would be good for me.
Okay. Sir, what's your name? All the same information.
All right, my name is Jaden Harley. I'm 18. I'm a senior. Why am I here? I know, like he said, I was forced to be here. I didn't want to come here at all.
Who forced you?
My mom did.
Yeah.
Because my own reason I thought first comes to my brother. He graduated last year, previously. He was playing football, and he heard this school had a good football program, so me and him both got raised coming to school. I was playing football for a little bit, but then
Not your thing?
football it's just an extra thing to do on the side.
Gotcha, okay.
I'm not the environment when I first got here. I'm not gonna lie, the whole thought of being around all men is big. But
definitely.
my last schools, my grade, like how my grades are now versus how they were back then is totally different. Like I wasn't on honor roll, high honor roll. Was again 3.0 was nowhere. My grades were not that good since I came here to school helping out, and I've been mad schools been calling me. I've been changing to a lot of stuff.
I heard you got some academic scholarships, right?
That's you.
Where you got academic scholarships at?
Well, Utica, or Rock University, Buck State.
That's a good list. Okay, and I bet you that wouldn't have happened had you chosen not to come here. Yes, if you would have stayed where you were at. And I feel y'all though, because as far as the all boys school, if you would ask me when I was your age or I was coming into middle or high school, I'd have been like, heck no, I want to see some ladies, right? I want to see some girls too. But then I moved and I ran 2 schools that were all boys schools, and what I realized was even though there wasn't girls around all of the time, it was almost better to form a brotherhood. And it was like a brotherhood was formed, and on top of the brotherhood that was formed in that community, that the young men were able to almost just kind of be themselves more without the interruption of the young ladies. And then I also noticed for my young men that went to school that there became a mystique about them. So the young ladies almost liked them even better because it wasn't like, I'm not with them every day, so I want to get with these boys. I want to see them. So like they still had the opportunity to see the young ladies. Even my brother here likes the snow bunnies, he said earlier off camera. So that's okay. but but yeah, so you get to see them, but it doesn't become the priority or the focus, and you could just be you and be the student and scholar. So what's tell same information, the name, grade, age, why you here?
My name is Kalisha Anderson. I'm 18, and I'm really here. Oh, I'm 12th grade. I'm really here because again, I forced the hand of my mother. I ain't gonna lie, I forced her hand. It was really because uh, so the schools that I was in. So Rochester Prep, it wasn't bad school, but it was just the environment. I was into the ladies, of course. So I was into the ladies. I was messing up a lot. I wasn't really focused as I am now when I got here, which helped me become more focused. So instead of me like taking the time to actually focus on what was most important, like playing sports, my grades, what's most important, staying in focus in school, stop being a class clown, like actually paying attention, listening to what your parents are saying, not being obedient. Instead of me doing those things, I did the opposite. So I had no choice but to be put in an all boys school for not just the discipline reasons, but also to become a man, to get myself together and figure out my next steps.
Right, because what I kind of look at or liken it to is almost like your work day, right?
Yeah.
So you go to work, you be about your business
Yeah.
at work, and then when you go home, you have the opportunity to have a social life or outside of what you do at work.
Yeah.
And so kind of building that type of mentality is the way I saw it for my young men.
Yeah.
Now, Rochester Prep is known for having extremely high and strong academics. They are very strict there, I
Yeah.
know. And so, what would you say the largest differences are between Rochester Prep and Uprep, and why this place was better for you?
The love, the community.
All right.
It's many people around me that have been in multiple situations as me, or probably worse or more. Right. And I get to relate not only because we are the same, we are brothers, we are also black, we are also human. So that also helps you connect. You can also express yourself without, receiving like, let's say as if, so at Rochester Prep, you couldn't really express yourself like your feelings or what you really wanted to talk about because it was strict rules, it's consequences for certain things. So certain things you say, it has to be blurred out. You can't say certain things.
Right.
So I was able to pull aside a couple people that I know here and actually talk about real life things outside of here and about here in the class. So me being able to do that, step out my comfort zone, actually helped me open up. Actually helped me open up and actually build a brotherhood with everyone in here.
Yeah, because I know, that's the beauty of one of the things of the charter schools is because, again, I believe Rochester Prep has a lot to offer students, and they do a lot of wonderful things, but it's not always right for everybody.
Yeah.
And so what I hear you saying is this place here, being Uprep, was the right place for you, and you found somewhere that you were able to cultivate your talent and who you are as a human being and be able to grow into it so that you could grow to develop who you want to be at the next level. And now just what area of the city do y'all live in Rochester? So where do you live by this area? Do we have a new area or this area right here?
I live in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, okay. So that's interesting. We'll come back to those kind of conversation in a minute. And so
I live on like the Lower East Side.
what is
Side East Avenue, Whitten Road.
okay, you live on the road. Okay, so you live, okay. I told you I'm from here. Like I'm not gonna know where that is. Okay, like
Downtown, so Corner Hill,
Cornell,
4th
okay,
Street.
kind of west side.
Yep.
Okay, that's funny. So I'm gonna come back over here. So Pittsburgh that's interesting to me because now Pittsburgh is known for having one of the best school districts in the area, but also I think they're one of the top in the country or the state at least that has like high academics. And so what's interesting to me is that your parents still decided to send you to an inner city charter school for free, but inner city charter school and with all boys, with mostly black males, when they could have put you in a Pittsburgh school and you could have taken advantage of that.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, you said that you have academic scholarship from Temple University because of your opportunity here. So why don't you think they decided to keep you at one of the best ranked schools in the country or the state?
My mom kept me here because she definitely thought it would have been great for me to be here with black men who would help me academically and become a man. And not only that, but to change me as a person because, like Khalees said, you know, I was a class clown, was goofing off, all of that. And she honestly more so thought it would get me more opportunities, in which it has. And I thank Uprep for that. And due to all the opportunities I have 14 scholarships to
Oh, wow.
14 different
Oh,
schools.
rattle them off, man. Pop your collar, man. Talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it. Let's see. Where,
go.
Talk about it. Tell us where those
So
opportunities are at. If
we
you
got-
can go, if you can remember them all. That's
We
a
had
lot.
Temple University,
Okay, Temple.
Howard
The
University,
Howard University.
Harvard University,
Harvard.
St. John Fisher,
Okay.
Nazareth, RIT, Long Island University. Then we got,
If you don't remember all, that's okay. We're getting you could give us what you know.
yeah,
But
that's
this brother
all I
said
know.
Harvard. He said, so why did you choose Temple out of all of the schools that were on that list? That's a pretty long list. That's pretty dope, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Temple,
And
like
these are academic offers, right?
yeah,
So because you know they like to say that your brothers only can play sports and that you can't do anything else. So is that true? Is that accurate around here?
nope.
No. Okay.
Yeah,
we
so
could
you're
be-
so you're more than that, more than just an athlete. And there's nothing wrong with being an athlete, but I hear that you're more than an athlete. So
Sure.
so why Temple?
Temple, for what I want to major in, it just has that great program, and what I want to major in is business administration, and it has the great business program, Fox of Business out there, and
Okay.
I'm ready for it.
You're ready for it. And you know it's all about the network and connections that you establish and setting yourself up for success. It's amazing. Now I know your CEO here, Mr. Larkin. I've known him for a long time. I also know that he is a man of Alpha Phi Alpha. So yeah, I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. So I must tell you this: when you go to school, I'm going to be very disappointed with you gentlemen if you decide to go that route because there's only one route and the streets are paved in purple and gold. So please, as you become into your college educations, if you're going to join a fraternity organization, there's only one organization in America, and it didn't get greater until later. So,
What Alpha would do?
man, boy, you gonna make me reach across this table on you. So no, Omega Psi Phi to the day I die.
Oh no.
Yes. See, not everybody can be great. So there's some people that are meant to just be okay in life. And maybe that is you if you're interested in being an alpha. But that's okay. So as you guys are on this journey, talk to me about your neighborhoods, right? So let's think about what schools would you have went to in around your area if you had not came to Uprep. So yours was Pittsford. What schools might you have went to, or you would have probably had a choice because you were in the city, but your area is
So for me, I moved around a lot.
Yes.
I used to I'm from Jamaica, so
Okay.
I used to live in New York City with my grandma, so I used
Okay.
to be there, and then I came here, and then I used to live right down the street, so that this was the closest school to high school there.
Yeah.
And then I think Dad said here, and he's like, just stay for ninth grade and see how you like it, and I was like, I like it, just put me in 10th grade, and then we moved in 10th grade, and I'm like, East High School was the closest school.
Right.
And he's like, I don't want you going there. I feel like UPrep is the school for you. And I'm like, I agreed with him. I'm like, yeah, that is the school for me. And so, he's like, we'll just get transportation and everything, and we'll keep you there.
Why do you think he didn't want you to go to East? What have you heard about East? Or what, you got any friends that go there?
No, I've heard a lot of things about East. Like
what?
So he works at the transit center. So he used to drive those kids on the buses, and he told me like they're loud, they're kind of violent, and like that's not like what UPrep has given me to that point was I don't think he thought it was gonna be reciprocated state,
So you mean there's not a lot of violence here at UPrep?
There's not really any violence here. Like if there is violence, a teacher will come in, will come in and be like, what are y'all doing? Like I know y'all. This is not you.
So I know at Green Tech, like we rarely had fights, but when we did, it was usually over a basketball game because somebody uh, angered or pissed somebody off
Yeah.
because of of we were in a contest where it got heated. And don't get me wrong, was there other situations once in a while? Yeah, but rarely. If we had a fight once a month, that's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, so it wasn't every day. And I'm hearing you that there's, and a lot of it to me was because there was a brotherhood and there was a bond where there, you know, sometimes brothers argue, but most of the time you're not trying to fight your brother.
Yeah.
And so that it doesn't happen like that. So, so you said East. Well, how about yourself?
Well, before I came to this school, I was at Rochester Academy.
Oh, so you're at Rochester Academy.
Yeah.
Rats?
Yeah, right. About rats.
Okay.
I was there my sixth grade year. I came there sixth grade, but I was at 39 before that.
Oh, Midland?
Yeah.
And how was that?
Well, that's the time I got, called, at school. I was doing a lot of stuff at that school.
Why? Was it you or was it the environment?
It was the environment and the people all around. And like,
And this is your elementary school.
my elementary youth years, I was just, having fun, being kids. But then sometimes, like, when I wanted to be, a good kid, people push me to be, you fast or something like that. And then rats, most of my family was a great dude because either I was talking to the female or the female was talking to me. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna let you stay in school one more year. I'm gonna stay around for one more year. It did. She was like, nah, never mind. This once you fought all you prep.
Because Rax is another charter school that actually does some great things as well. But again, I hear this brother saying that it wasn't the right environment for him. He needed to be in an environment where he was able to just build a bond with his brothers and not worry about the other young ladies.
I wasn't getting right to the help.
Yeah, and so you feel like you get more or stronger support here than you've gotten in other places. Okay, and so why not one of the district schools?
Well, that probably would have been an option, but I don't know. Like me in this school probably would never work. I probably would have been, yeah, the more common I would have been back then, fighting, not caring about school.
What have you heard goes on at some of the schools? Do you have any friends who go to some
My
of the
sister,
schools?
she goes to Wilson. My sister don't trust it. Multiple schools. This was that to be fighting, but and then I do have friends who go to other schools like East Douglas when there was a thing.
Dirty D?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't heard tons of people in that school.
Yeah.
I did want to go to East. I was supposed to go to East my 10th grade year when my grandbrother, but it was mass stuff going on. And my mom was like, nah, your grades is more better. You should not be around female because female didn't want to kiss female guy and tag not you focus or whatever.
Didn't you want to go to Monroe?
Oh yeah, I was supposed to my dad worked at my football coach. Dude wanted to football coaches.
Okay.
But he transferred work at a Jewel out of 60 and everything. Everybody knows about fresh.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what he worked at.
Okay. And what about yourself? What schools were around your house? And
So my story a little different.
okay.
My parents were not going to send me to any city school. Honestly, that wasn't the goal with me.
Okay.
They wanted me to push for more, be different, no matter if I was living in the city or not.
Right.
So it was different with me. My sister, she graduated from Pittsford,
Okay.
Menden. My little brother, he's graduating from West Arundecoit.
Right.
I chose to stay locally in a close to at least Arundecoit. That was my jurisdiction. Not only because I knew a couple people from connections and sports and stuff like that, but really just overall, I knew where I was going to be in community-wise. I knew who was going to be around me. I knew who was going to motivate me to do more, be better. I knew where I felt like home. I felt comfort from. So I was only kept in this area by choice because I decided that was me. That's who I am. I chose to be that person, to be like, I'd rather go somewhere to motivate others and where others can motivate me and I can learn more from than go somewhere where I might not find myself or I might feel discomfort or uncomfortable in my situation. So I decided to take that route. They pushed me and they supported me to take that route because they felt like there's no other route I should be taking.
Gotcha. And the reason why I ask these questions is because a lot of times Rochester as a city does not look favorably upon charter schools. They always have something very negative to say about charter schools. And it usually doesn't have a lot to do with academics. It usually has a lot to do with money.
Yeah.
And so it's usually adults, it's usually political, it's some of our lawmakers who are saying, look, the charter schools, we don't necessarily need or want them because funding, it takes away from our district schools, when that really isn't true. And so the reason why I bring this up is because now the district schools get a certain amount of money from New York State that gets sent to them. And that's around $24,300, right? And then on top of that, now the charter schools only get a percentage of that. So what happens is go to the district schools first, and then they pay out Uprep like 6 times a year. And when they pay out Uprep the 6 times a year, it's only $14,100. And so let's say you have a friend that, like you said, you have friends that go to, or your sister goes to Wilson, same house, right? Your sister goes to Wilson, you go to Uprep. The state is paying for your sister's education $24,300 approximately, and you're only getting $14,000 for your education. But you live in the same household from the same mama, or at least or dad or both or whatever it is, right? Y'all from the same parents, and there's more money going to your sister's education than there's going to your education. And there's adults who are arguing that this is right and it's fair.
Yeah.
Because they're arguing for the bureaucracy and the politics of it all, because they don't want somebody's job to be affected, when it really comes down to the money should be following you and it should be what's best for kids. And so that's not what's happening. And so when y'all hear that, when they're saying that you're not worth the same amount of money that your sister's worth, right? And then on top of that, the school districts get additional money. So the district actually spends somewhere between $37,000 and $45,000 per child. But Uprep can only spend $14,000 on you, and it's not because they don't want to, that's all they get. And there's no other money that they get, but they make it happen. So what's crazy to me is like all these wonderful things are happening with these same brothers who look like the rest of the kids in the community, from the same places, from the same hoods, from the same spaces, but are professing that I wouldn't have made it had I not come here. But y'all telling me I'm not worth it. And shame on those legislators and those lawmakers who are saying that you're not worth it.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel that they're telling you that your own sister is worth more than you are? And what does that make you think about?
So I've been knew that district schools was getting funded with money from charter schools, but at least we got. So let me see, how should I say this? Like, yes, they got more money than us, but their academics is not really as good as us. Like their graduation rate, the classes order, it's not better than ours. I know that for a fact.
No, everybody does. But even the lawmakers know that that is not as
And
good as theirs.
More and more money, not doing nothing with it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? One of our state lawmakers said to me was, and I'm not going to put them out here as far as the person, because that's not my goal here. But they said to me, well, if the schools are doing well, then they don't need more money.
Yeah.
Or why would we take away from a school that schools that aren't doing well and give it to schools that are doing well? They don't need more money. And I said to myself, so I scratched my head and I thought about it like this. Is like, okay, so let's say somebody has a parent and they make $50,000, right?
Yeah.
But they make it work. Like the kids are clean, their kids are in a decent school, they're fed, they got a decent roof over their house. But somebody said to them, hey, if I offered you an additional 50,000, you think that mama's gonna say, no, I don't want that because I'm doing good with that 50,000? She's gonna take the extra 50 and not make 100,000. Imagine what she's gonna do with that, because she's already doing well with this. Imagine the things that she could do. So if I said to all your parents, yo, I got an extra $50,000 for all of your parents, you think they would say, no thanks, we're doing good. Look, y'all look clean, y'all look well fed.
Yeah.
Like, you think your mom or your dad or whoever is gonna say no? It's not logical, y'all. It doesn't make sense to me. How does it compute in your brains? Like, I know you were saying that. Go ahead, tell us what you were just saying.
So what I was saying was overall, so track, football, just in general, just in football, just speaking football here, we don't have a field. We have to shoot.
Field. Do you have a full weight room?
Nope.
Don't have a full
half weight room. Not even half.
But hasn't the school won championships?
Yep.
Right.
Sectional titles.
One sectional football.
Went to states. Went to nationals.
Sectional basketball.
Right. So you're winning all these championships. So why do you need a weight room?
We need a weight room. We have to get better. We have to improve as a team. We have to get stronger. We have to condition. We don't have the right materials to do that, but we still make it work.
Right. So do you think people don't want y'all to get better?
I
Or what do you
believe
think it
so.
is?
I believe
What
so.
is it?
I mean, we did try to move schools,
Yeah, talk about that.
yeah, we tried to move to Irondequoit, and it was prevented. There were a
So
lot
for
of
people who aren't from here, what is Arundequoit? And give a little background.
so Irondequoit is more posh, richer.
It's a suburb.
It's a suburb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we were trying to move next to East Irondequoit, like close to that school.
Yeah.
Right in that neighborhood. I think we got a nice building, nice everything, but it
Big
was prevented.
field.
Big field. I think we had money to set it up.
Why do you think they prevented it?
It was a vote.
It was
Yeah, there
a
was
lot of
vote.
They
racism.
voted us out.
It was racism. What does that mean? What do you mean?
A lot of
Explain what that means.
racism. Like the people in that community, specifically whites, they did not want us as a black community to be on their turf.
So they didn't want a bunch of black boys walking around East Arundequoit before, after, and during school hours.
Using excuses like our property value is going to go down.
So they said that?
Yeah.
Our property value is going to go down. They're going to come into our neighborhoods. They're going to, do this. I'm like,
They said we're too loud.
the school was, I think they were going to fence it off, like I think between their houses, there was like big trees and everything. So we could not go into their neighborhoods or anything like that. We did not want to go into their neighborhood.
So how much of it do you think it was because you guys are from predominantly black and brown school, young men, and how much of it was the fact that you're also a charter school? What do you think?
I think it
Yes.
was majority we're black and brown men.
Yep.
Okay. And what do you think?
Not only just that, we're black and brown men that are still making it work, and we're winning. We're beating their teams, their schools that they put so much money into. They have the weight rooms, they have the resources.
Let's make it work. They're running up and down the hallways
Yeah.
for track, and I'm like, why don't
Yeah.
we have more resources? Why don't we have a field
Yeah.
where we can practice, where we can do stuff?
For track, I just want to piggyback on that. For track, I practice in the hallways of Franklin, running in the hallways where the boilers are in the heat. We won 2 sectional championships back to back just off that practice in the hallways, nowhere else. So the things that we could do as a community to get better, not just Uprep, just in general here in Rochester, New York, we could work as a team and not put each other down. A lot of times we put each other down. It's always competition. There shouldn't be any competition between any black men or any black women here. We all trying to be successful in general. Everyone wants to take care of their family. Everyone want to have a sustained situation, career. If you want to have that, there's no way you're going to get there if you're putting each other down and you're competing back and forth. You lose things when you do that. So I feel like there shouldn't be violence. We shouldn't be hurting each other. We should take care of each other. We should treat each other as such, as family, and love each other and push each other to keep going. No matter what, we have each other's backs. And that's that.
The one thought or one piece of advice that I have for you all is after running all boys schools for a very long time, I saw a lot of young men make it to the finish line and get college scholarships, be able to move on in life and be successful. And then they had a choice, they had a fork in the road because they started to be able to go off on their own and make a decision. And then they didn't have the same support that they had like that you have here. So I know you prep supports y'all and rocks with y'all, right? And they always will at some form or fashion, but you're gonna be off on your own. You're gonna have the ability to make decisions. You're gonna be challenged with right and wrong and the the factors of life out there, whether it's young lady, whether it's the city, whether it's crime, whether it's other people doing wrong things, those friends that influenced you wrong negatively, you're going to be affected by those. Y'all got to take what you've learned here and take what has been cultivated inside of you and now use that as fuel to push forward and to reach the next level and not allow things to, because the greatest way, the education is the greatest equalizer. The greatest way that you stop this and get back at folks and create some equity is by being a part of the change you want to see. So the change that y'all want to see, go on and do the great things that you really have planned, and don't let things get in your way and stop you. Yeah, you'll make mistakes. But don't allow yourself to stop or quit. All right. So as we wrap up this conversation, y'all, I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your insights and letting the world see who you guys are as individuals, as students, giving us more about you prep. So tell me what you prep has done, and I'm giving you about 60 seconds or less to tell us what you prep has done for you and other young men to change this narrative change the narrative of what society believes about young black men, and and then also, what are you gonna do with, like, what's your action? Like, what are you gonna do with it, and how are you gonna move to the next level? Who wants to start? Who wants to answer this? Who wants to go?
I'll go.
Okay.
U Prep overall has taught me how to be disciplined, taught me how to be patient. Everything is not a rush. You have to take your time. It's a process. You don't just wake up the next day and be a superhero. That's not how life works. So it taught me how to be patient with everything that is going on around you. You don't have to rush into the process. Whenever it happens, it's going to happen. And hopefully it keeps going. So it really taught me that. And what I'm gonna do with that is I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna run with that from here. I'm gonna remain determined, remain confident in what I speak, what I say, what I do. I'm gonna always keep working in many ways as possible and connect with people that's been there in those type of times, in those moments.
And what's your prediction for yourself in 4 years? Where are you gonna be?
In 4 years, I will be a successful young black man. I will look over my mother. I will make sure she's okay in all types of ways. I will make sure my family is okay. I will have a family. I will be a therapist. I will be a sports trainer, and I will be successful in general with everything that I do.
For me, UPrep has taught me to love myself and my life. They said your biggest enemy is yourself, and that changed my narrative on a lot of things. And that's why I'm the leader and mentor I am today. That's why I'm the president of the school. That's why I'm the vice president of National Honor Society. And it just taught me a lot of patience and a lot of character and leadership. And 4 years from now, I see myself as a CEO in business around here and just helping everyone and giving back to my community.
Well, I appreciate your brothers on changing the narrative for yourselves, for other young black men, but also for your communities by just succeeding. And that's important and powerful. And and hats off to youth reps for the work that they're doing here, and hope that people see how important of an option that the charter schools are, and that there's 27 charter schools in Rochester, and they give the choice for our young people to choose where they need to go. That is going to give them the best education. What works for one child might not work for another. But what works for you is giving you an opportunity to succeed. And you should always have that opportunity to choose, and you should always have the ability to get an equal, equitable education. So I thank y'all for your time today.